about getting into this video and doing what we wanted to, your vision for what you wanted to do for your birthday and how you wanted to get everybody to get to know you. You know, what was your deepest insight of what you wanted them to get to know about you? Like, what was your drive to make them want to feel like you wanted everybody to get to know who Sherri was beyond After Hours, Cocktails in the Debauchery, and Sherri Shabazz? Like, all of those inducted into one person.
I don't know. It's always been, well, what do you do? Or what's your vision? It was one of those things I've always used to be on, Facebook. Social media has always been a thing for me. People don't believe me, but I'm real life, like, introverted, for real, until you get to know me. And I know that's a thing now with social media. Everybody and their mother's they're socially awkward or they're introverted. I've always been like this free, open-minded, wild child with friends and close loved ones, but it's really hard for me to be like that with strangers. So social media works for me. And it's like I can tell all my thoughts and you can't judge me. I can talk about farting and you can't tell me anything. Like, I can block you if you're judging anything that I say. Like, social media works for me, and it got to a point where everyone was like, oh, you should have your own podcast. Oh, you should have your own radio show. It was so many things. You guys should do your own reality TV. And when I heard the whole radio thing, I was like, radio is perfect, because I can have this large audience. The people want to see it, they want to hear me or whatever, but I don't really have to be around you guys, you know what I mean? Like, even just being in this space, knowing that I'm going to be talking about myself, it's weird and it makes me feel some kind of way. And I'm like, can we turn the lights off? Can I have another drink? That kind of stuff. But social media, it was perfect for my personality. I can kind of turn it on and off. You know what I mean? When I don't, say it again?
Make them see who you are without having to really expose yourself.
Right, I don't have to, when someone comes to your home and you're ready for them to leave, so you gotta, come up with excuses. I can just log off, you know what I mean? Or I can just hit X, I can block you, I can just unfollow my own posts. So it was perfect for me. But I want people to see and get to know the Sherri that my close friends and my family know. Because that Sherri, she's really fun, she's dope, y'all know, but a lot of people don't always see that. And of course, when they think of Sherri Shabazz, After Hours, Cocktails and Debauchery, oh, it's that girl that talk about sex. And it's so much more than sex. It's so much more.
So who is Sherri? What's your family life like? Like, how'd you grow up? Like, give us an insight on.
I'm a big ball of just, I don't know, just like it's a whole bunch of, it's not a black and white, I'm from this place because I grew up in this place, but I was raised this way. It's weird. My family, everyone knows, if you know me, you pretty much know my immediate family, my mother, my sister. My brother doesn't come around much, but if you know me, you know him. And then my husband and kids, really close with my family, but I've always been that, there's something about that child. I've always been that person, either you don't like me or you love me, you know what I mean? And those who love me understand that I'm needed. Like, I tell people all the time, my personality it's a vitamin. Like, you should want it around. It's good for people, it's good for myself, but that's how I knew I was dope. Like, when you like yourself, I'm critical, I judge a lot. Even though I say I don't judge, I'm not like that Christian judge. I just be like, oh, you gonna do that with your vagina? Oh. But let me, keep talking. Like, I'm that kind of judge. Like, I won't do it, but whatever. But I've always been like, I guess, being the middle child, I'm a little awkward. Being a Scorpio, a little awkward. I grew up in Carroll City. Like, a lot of people, they like, you grew up where? You don't look like somebody, you don't talk like some. I grew up in Carroll City. However, my mother's side of the family, they're Bahamian, so we were raised, everyone who came from the Bahamas stayed with us, and that's, our babysitters, my family members. I always, went to Exuma with my grandfather. He's very prideful. Anybody who's from the islands, that heritage is extremely prideful. So my sister and I would go to Exuma. People hear me talk about Exuma a lot because that's home for me. So I don't know, when people ask me where I'm from, I literally have to explain like so many versions, because I'm not Carroll City, I'm not Cabo Ranches, where my grandparents actually lived here and people saw us there a lot. That's not it's like, because if you're from there, they be like, oh, you ain't from there. And then you're from Carol City, oh, but you don't go to this school. And it's like, oh, well, you're not from the islands because you aren't born and raised. So I don't know, I'm a mutt, but a great mutt. Good pop mix. And I just, whoever I'm with at the moment, that's just what I vibe with. You know, if I'm in a room, if I'm in the room full of, you know, people from the islands, I know that culture. I grew up that way. So it's like, it just automatically blend in. When I'm with my people from the States or whatever, I know the culture, obviously. And, you know, and my dad's side, even though I didn't grow up with him, they're from New Orleans. Like, so that wild, it was in me. Even though I didn't grow up that way, I'm a wild child at heart.
So being from Carol City, where'd you go to school? Like,
I went to school in Broward because my mother was like, and no offense to no one, no offense to anyone, but my mother was like, you know, just because we live in the hood, you can't be up the hood. So she was real big on how we were raised. And I went to school always in Broward. So I graduated from Stranahan High School, the best of the best. Like, we were all black cast. We all are doing well. Like, everyone doing well. Doctors, attorneys, they're all doing well. Nurses, teachers, it's just bomb. But anyway.
You grew with your mom?
Yeah. Oh,
what's like?
That's a story. Because a lot of people don't know this, and I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. See, luckily y'all have given me some drinks, so it's just coming off. I'm just talking. Naja says I talk a lot, and I don't notice it until I start hearing. I'm like, yeah, shut up. Anyway, I grew up with my mother, her and my father. Yeah, he fell in love with the island booty. He said that. That's exactly what he said. So he was like, yeah, you know, I saw her on campus with the island booty, and I was just like, I gotta meet her. They were both at FAMU. Shout out to the Rattlers. They were both at FAMU. He was a baseball player up there, and they got married. She brought the country boy to Miami. Y'all know country living in Miami are two different, even though we're country to other folks, like to the New Yorkers, they're like, y'all some country bumpkins.
It's a difference.
It's a huge difference. And he really couldn't handle the lifestyle. They ended up divorcing before I know, because I don't remember anything from my father. We reconnected. An aunt was always in our life. Shout out to Aunt Rita. Everyone knows Aunt Rita. She becomes your aunt when you meet me. She's the matriarch of my dad's side of the family, and she was always in our lives, you know. And so when I went to FAMU, when I became a student at FAM, she called me up one day and she was like, well, do you want to go to the Bayou Classic because remember, my dad's side of the family, half of them are from Mobile, Alabama, and then New Orleans. So she was like, we're gonna go to the Bayou Classic for Thanksgiving. Do you want to come? I'm like, of course. So I go and we're staying with her family. We stop in Mobile and we're staying with her family. And she's like, do you want to see your daddy? Out the blue. Mind you, I'm 19. I don't know my father. Like, I had no memory of him because they divorced before I was like 1 or 2. So I have no memory of him. And
so
I'm
you
like,
grew up with your dad?
No, not at all. And I'm like, what? You know, like, wait a minute. Deep down inside, I was like, of course I want to see my daddy. I don't think I've ever shared that with anybody. Oh my God, that felt good. Therapy, I tell you guys, come sit on the white couch. It provides therapy. But the Scorpio in me was like, okay.
Never admit that. That's
something
you keep to yourself.
But I was excited as hell. So we go and see him. And I don't want to tell why my mother and father split. He had an addiction. I don't want to go into it. He passed away, and I don't want to do that to him. Because if anyone knows, we died like this. You know, the relationship was really, really great. So I don't want to say anything because he's not here to represent himself. But anyway, my mother did the best that she could. Like, in my eyes, my mother was like top tier. Especially listening to people's stories now, I'm like, oh girl, Jackie, you did your thing. Like, I have her real name is my middle name, and I used to hate it. But now I'm like my mother is like a very, very powerful person. And it's not even, because you know, Black women, we have that, when they think of strength and power, it's because we talk a certain way, or, you know, we have a certain defiance about ourselves. My mother is powerful because she's so forgiving and caring. Like, she's a crazy ass Gemini, and mommy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you. You know, I love you. But Trump, Kanye West, my mother's, she can give them a run for their money, you know, like, but my mother is the realest person. Everyone who knows her, they fall in love with her. Like, she's just she has a huge heart. like I say, all my family from the Bahamas, before they settled anywhere else, they came to our home, our house. My mother opened her house to everyone. Kids, like, I don't remember a Christmas where it was just us, and we used to get gifts. We would have like 50 gifts apiece, 3 kids, 50 gifts apiece, and she would make sure her nieces and nephews, or whoever was at the house at the time, had the same. So it's a lot of things, like, you know, I thought she was very strict growing up, but I see now, like, when I'm hearing stories, I'm like, ooh, Eileen, thank you, ooh. Like,
it was preparation for everything you had to go through.
Yeah, and even my father said I forgot the story. I do that a lot, sorry. We went to New Orleans, and my aunt was like, you know, do you want to meet your dad or whatever? And he was in a rehab center at the time. And I'm like, okay. So we go and see him. And the first thing I said in my head was, oh my God, you are my twin. I used to always hear, you look just like your daddy. Okay, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't know what this man looked like. Like, F him. That's what I'm really thinking in my head. But when I saw him, I'm like, oh my, like, whoa. And he's a Scorpio too, weirdest shit in the world. We're born on the same day, we have the same birthday. And it was just like his emotions, I was able to feel. He was just as excited as I was, but he was chill and calm just like me. We both was like, okay, who you?
Do you feel like having the same birthday drew you guys to have a strong, like, that connection? Like,
yeah, he and my sister, obviously because she spent more time with him, they have a real father-daughter relationship. Like, they're extremely close. He and I have that spiritual connection. Like, my father, to this day, I don't want to scare anybody, but like, to this day, he protects me. Like, I know he is watching me. I know a lot of things that happen is because of him. He got my back. We reconnected that time, 19 years old. Of course, I'm getting the phone calls after I return back to college. I'm going to be in your life. I'm going to do this. I'm a Scorpio. Show me. You know, like, okay, all right. I don't know you, sir. And I'm traveling with my aunt back and forth to New Orleans. We're going to, you know, Mardi Gras. I'm always in New Orleans now, and he's always with us. And it got into a point where it was so awkward because we got so close, but I didn't know what to call him. I'm like, I don't want to disrespect my mother and call him daddy. I don't feel right calling you daddy. And I was just like, you know, my aunt, you know, she started commenting on it, and I'm like, look, I just don't know him. Give me time.
I know what that's like, and I know what that's like, because I think I had the same issue with my dad, whereas it's like, we reached out, and I think he called me sweetheart, and I'm just like, that's not comfortable, because I don't know you like that, because, you know, you're calling me sweetheart, and I feel like I don't feel comfortable calling you daddy, because at this aspect, the word daddy's been tainted in an aspect for me, because you weren't really there for me to say, okay, you're daddy, for me to call you daddy, so daddy's tainted.
See how you end up in a therapy session with Sherri?
Sherri,
it happens.
It draws you in.
I tell people all the time, don't think that you're gonna sit like, they be like, oh, we could talk right quick. It's not gonna be a 2-minute talk.
But how you just got? You said your dad, you know, while you were going to school, you went to FAMU.
Yeah.
That's your alma mater. So how is it while you were going to school? You said while you were going to school while you met your dad. So how is it when you started going to school and having to handle all of that?
So he ended up living with my aunt. He ended up moving, you know, and once he left the rehab, she was like, I got you, you know. So he moved to Jacksonville. So we're now only 2 hours away. So whenever I'm not home in South Florida, I was with my aunt, either in New Orleans or in Jacksonville. So we actually, I'm not gonna say this on camera because I'm already like halfway kicked out the family. So I won't say too much, but people were like, when they came to our wedding, they didn't know that
What family? Halfway kicked out with you.
It's
got a very big family.
It's both sides. Because, you know, after hours, you know, we kind of talk about some raunchy stuff, and my family's like, hey, I'm with you when you're teaching, but when you're posting those crazy memes, they're like, oh my God, we don't know her. No, we don't know her. Like, you weren't raised like this. What the fuck are you doing, Sherri? They didn't know I cursed this much. They didn't know.
You're getting to know this.
Hi, guys. Yeah. I told them it's going to bring everybody a lot of money eventually, because I'm the type, I'm not gonna give you anything, but I will employ my people. I'm that type. You work, I work. We all work, we make money. So it was constant communication. He called all the time, we talked. It became a thing where, like, at my wedding, people thought that my parents were still together. Like, they died. Oh my God, my mother is still here. Oh my God, my daddy died being my mother's, like, they were best friends, you know what I mean? At the wedding, people were like, your daddy's trying to talk to me. And I'm like, girl, holla at him. He cute, right? But what about your mother? They have long been divorced. Like, she don't know what that man penis look like anymore. Like, if y'all, you know, like, that's our relationship. Like, right now, everybody knows, like, my family, the New Orleans family, my dad's side, oh, we're like this. You would have never known that we grew up. I didn't even know these people. All I knew was Aunt Rita. But we are like, those are my booze, my babes, yeah.
So what was school like in FAMU?
Oh my God, I really don't want to talk about this. Oh, you didn't tell me. You know, I never talk about fam.
I want to know. You speak about you represent FAMU so
I
dedicated.
Know, but I don't ever really. I want
to know a little bit more about what FAMU was like.
Listen, I tell everybody, you haven't. I don't feel like everybody. I don't feel like college is for everyone. I don't feel like everyone should go to college. If I had to do it all over again, I would not have gone to college first. I probably still would have gone, but I would have traveled first, like around the globe. But listen, FAMU is going to go in a book one day, okay? We're not talking about FAMU.
Got a book title?
It was great. I feel like everybody should go off to college.
You got a book title in mind?
Not for FAMU, but I do have a book that's coming up. I don't know if I should reveal the title because I say it every Wednesday, but I don't know how that works. I don't want anybody stealing. You know, there's a lot of that shit has been going on these past 8 years.
We're gonna keep it on the rest for now.
Why y'all steal so much? Like, people don't be original. Like, I'm talking about, it's just, anyway, that's a whole nother. You want the Scorpio stinger to come out. That's not cool. It's Sunday. So FAMU was great. I feel like especially Black people. You know, I talk to some of my friends who went to PWIs sometimes, and I tell them, like, I just feel like the experience should be had by all Black and brown people if you go off to college. It's different. It's just like my kids, you know, when they were at an all Black private school, it's different. Like, I am missing the hell out of that because you have that relationship. Like, our professors were our aunts. They were our aunts and uncles. Like, they looked after us. If you pledged, they knew they gave you slack because they went through it. You know what I mean? They know, you know, the ins and outs of things and whatnot. Like, if you were failing, we're not gonna let you fail. What the hell? Yes. Like, no, you're one of us. They really look after you. I know I got to a point, I tell people this all the time. If I had to do it again, I would like my kids, I would want them to go to a HBCU. I had to realize that the culture, not so much FAMU, the culture of Tallahassee was not for me at all. That's when I was like, South Florida and North Florida are two different places. Separate us. We are not the same. Don't call me no Floridian. It is different. It made me hate. Like FAMU, the experience, the fun, the friends, the memories, loved. I hated Tallahassee. Like I always grew up, my mother was very, you know, pro-Black and all of that, but I'd never experienced the whole you a nigger or y'all all look alike. I've never experienced the exchange of money where they're putting it on the counter because they don't want to touch your hands and just and I'm a rebel. People don't realize, like, I only look like this.
Free-spirited rebel.
But you're not gonna walk over me. I don't care who you are. Like, I go to work and the CEO respects me. Like, no, and I tell people that all the time. It's the way you carry yourself. Like, all of this, we're going back and forth with racists. Racists are who they are. You will never change a racist mind. Only in experience. You know what I mean? When they actually sit down and want to decide, okay, I want to actually hear this person out. Or when they actually experience something, will they actually change? But it's not our duty to change a racist. We need to start changing ourselves. You keep calling yourself king and queen, but you're letting them talk to you any kind of way. You know what I mean? Even at work, like we are so confined to the dollar. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm guilty of this myself too. Like, we feel like we cannot be a certain person without a certain amount of money. I don't know if that's what that's what I wanted to say, but like people allow
you,
me, myself, Sherri, or people in general. Nah. I definitely, that's one thing. I definitely don't like shallow people. I myself like nice things. I think everybody, you know, spurges on things here and there, but I can't do the whole shallow, it's all about money and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But one thing I do want us to realize is that you have to stop allowing people to treat you any kind of way. Like, I'm not saying that you're not a victim, you know what I mean? Racism definitely exists, but it's not my job to teach a racist how to respect me. If you don't want to respect me, deuces. And I think I know we weren't talking about, I don't know what we were talking about before we got here, but that's something that is hard for me to explain to women. Like those who know me, those who have been around from the beginning of time, those who have experienced events like Wind Down or an Aphrodisiac, they know how much I want to invest in women and want women to better themselves. However, a lot of women, because I am so cutthroat, I am a little bit harsh. You know, I do have a mean demeanor. We're working on all of this. All of this stuff, it's in the works. We're working on it. I care, you know what I mean? But I'm harsh. And I'm learning that, you know, Sherri, just because it's the truth doesn't mean that someone's going to receive it as truth because of how you're saying it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like when I hear my mother say something crazy and I see somebody be like, okay, I can understand why. She said the truth, but you didn't understand it because, you know, the way she said it. So I start, you know, I'm looking at people and I'm noticing their demeanor and I'm like, okay, Sherri, if you want to get your point across, you kind of have to tone it down just a little bit. But goddamn it, this is my show today, right? I need y'all to be better. A man can't treat you any kind of way unless you allow it. I'm not saying that you are wrong. Can we just stop being dumb for a minute? Like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't, the older I get, I realize that it's not an age thing. Like, stupidity comes in all ages. And it's sad that a lot of people don't mature with age because a lot of women are doing shit that we were doing back when we were 19, not even 25. Like, I'm not understanding why we're allowing certain things to happen. No one can treat you any type of way if you don't allow it. The first time a man raises his voice, the first time a man disrespects you in front of people that he so-called respects, deuces. You know what I mean? Like, everything is not perfect. People will, you know, try you. You can't always, you know, have this blissful life where no one's going to attack you. I'm not saying that, but you get to choose what you accept. You know what I mean?
So you think you have to find a platform to be able to express how you feel to share with everybody else?
Hell yeah. Like, I wanted to do the radio thing, and I still want to do reality radio. I would even love a reality show at this point. I remember saying that I would never do that. But I will get canceled immediately.
Why do you say you get canceled?
I would get canceled. Listen, the comments I make on the Shade Room alone have people like, that's why you sell sex toys. You look like Wiz Khalifa mama. Like, all kind of shit. Like, okay, that wasn't on Shade Room. That was on my YouTube page. But I thought that shit was funny. Like, I'm hoping I get tough skin because people come with it. The guy was like, is that Wiz Khalifa?
So you have Instagram, YouTube,
yeah,
Twitter,
YouTube, Twitter,
Facebook.
Facebook, I don't really share with everybody though. That's for me.
That's for you.
That's my vagina. Everybody don't have access to that one.
Vagina.
Yeah.
You gotta keep some things
You
off
gotta
limits.
keep some things off limits, yeah.
So who has access to the vagina?
What kind of shit is that? Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Who asked that?
I do.
Fucking Scorpio, because that's some shit that I probably would have asked somebody sitting on my couch. Who has access to the vagina?
I'm just curious.
Wow.
We hear Sherri talk about marriage. We hear Sherri talk about family. So who has access to the vagina on a regular access period?
Oh my goodness. I feel so offended. Like, if offended was
What
a
are they
face.
when the tables have turned?
Whoa. I don't even feel right saying the one person who does have access. I feel like they're so private. Oh my God, I don't want to answer
All
that.
the time. We hear him all the time. Nigel.
I don't want to answer that. That was so personal. Oh my God. Do I really do people like that? Oh.
I mean, after all, the shirt says bad influence.
I can't be.
It is Scorpio season.
Oh, stop. Oh, see. I don't pay attention.
It is Scorpio season.
It is.
Shirt does say bad influence.
I'm a great bad influence. I hope you guys don't see the
So who helps you to be bad influence? Who's your partner in crime?
That came natural. That, you know, we were just talking about this, so crazy. We have the craziest conversation at the craziest. We were at a repast. We were at a repast and we started talking about this. They were pretty much saying how they're Nigel's friends. Well, they're our friends now, but I know them through Nigel. And they were saying that when they all used to hang out, Nigel was so innocent. And I turned him out and I was like, what? Wait, what? That big grown man, as stubborn as Nigel, I turned Nigel out. No, see, what had happened was I was this innocent virgin at the time.
Get the real story.
Who was, you know, I'm not gonna say I was naive because I've always had like that old wisdom. My best friend hanging out, my best friend was my grandmother. I'm hanging out with this, my grandmother's 88, right? And I'm 21. Just go with it, just go with it. So we have a huge gap between us. That was my best friend. So I had an old soul full of wisdom. So I wasn't naive, and I used to always, like, even though I wasn't promiscuous, I've always been intrigued by sex. Like, I'd be talking to therapists and spiritual priests and stuff, like, did somebody touch me? Like, I don't have any, you know, memory of that. I've never been, I can't think of the word that I'm trying to say.
Brought to that point.
Gosh, I've never been
Abused and molested.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that though. It was something else I was looking for. It can't come to me right now because the drink has my tongue. But, you know, because they always say if you're very sexual, something must have happened. Well, not always. This, you know, bright and sunny South Florida afternoon, I just noticed that when I moved to the right a little bit, oh, wait, what is that? I don't know what's going on, but let me grab a towel and ball it up and help with that, because that feels good.
Sherri awoke.
Right. So it
wasn't just Sherri. Maybe it was just the Shabazz at the end of the Sherri.
I don't know. It's just, I've always been intrigued with sex, like always. And again, I wasn't out there trying to hunch everybody that came my way and stuff. I just was intrigued. So I am the type, when I watch porn, I am literally like watching the entire storyline. Like, I want to know exactly what's going on, what led them to this. I used to write. Oh, that's something else I want to talk about. I have been working on this book for like a whole year and a half, and I'm just like, not like consistently, you know, writer's block and all that other kind of shit. But I used to write when I was a child, like I remember stories as early as, you know, 7 years old. And I used to win awards at the Broward County Youth Fair and stuff, and my teachers would submit some of my poems. My hustle was writing plays for friends and selling it to them and whatnot. And I'm writing like shit because I'm stealing my mother's books. So she's reading like the Terry McMillan. Terry McMillan was my favorite, so I always bring her up. I'm reading these books, but they had substance. And I've always been that person where I love sex. I do, I really, really do, but I don't want the raunchiness, you know, like I want to go deep when we talk about sex. I want to, you know, when I'm having an orgasm, oh my God, I'm sorry, I shouldn't tell you guys my business. But like when I'm having an orgasm, like, don't judge me. Nigel's right there, he could vouch. I can go hours, like just working on the same one little orgasm that I'm getting ready to have because it's so much. Like I'm in tuned with, I'm having a fantasy going on. I'm like, I don't know, I'm there, I'm in the moment, and it's a whole scene. So my porn, it won't ever be like 13 minutes. I'm the 2 hour and 45 minute type, you know. It's a whole setup going on. And I know if I keep rubbing a certain way, I'm gonna come. So
So when you and
how
Nigel
did we get
met,
here?
When you and Nigel met, how did the meeting between you and Nigel take place?
Oh my God, this is nobody's business. Oh my God, so you know, like, you know when I said I judge people, you guys would judge my life, our life, and it's not important. You know, we're protecting the marriage, so we're not gonna answer this question. Like, I don't remember. I don't. That's how long it's been. I don't. And then my mom's watching. Like, with marriage, I definitely don't think that it's a one size fit all. And what I try and tell people, I'm 100% honest and transparent when it comes to my views on marriage. One, I will never ever do it again, and it's not because marriage is bad or was bad or anything like that, but I feel like you literally give like 100% of yourself to a person, and not even trying. Like Nigel and I literally, like, I don't know if I'm his best friend. That's my homie, you know what I mean? Like, so naturally, he gets what my girlfriends used to get, you know what I mean? The conversations and stuff, he gets that, and like, just, I was telling you earlier, just like, you know, when I was growing up, I was always 100% Sherri in my home. So my sister, my brother, my mother, they know the goofy Sherri, the weird Sherri that y'all would judge me. Nigel knows that. And I just don't want to give that to anybody else. I don't want to do that shit again. I don't. So like because there's a lot of women who are very romantic. Marriage kind of fell in both of our laps. I don't think Nigel and I ever thought that we both would have been here. We were cut buddies, for God's sake. Like, I mean, let's just keep it real. We never thought that we'd have one, but I tell people I snatch souls, not because of my vagina.
It's that Scorpio.
This personality is, yes, you will get addicted. I tell people, even friendship, don't delete me, you're gonna get mad. Don't delete me on Facebook, you're gonna get mad after a few weeks when your Facebook timeline is dry. Like, I do have that personality where I kind of like suck people in, and I'm not trying, it's just, it is what it is. But I don't think they realize, yes, marriage is a business, in my opinion. It is. And just like any business, you want your business to succeed, right? So you gotta work at that shit constantly. And it's not so much like if you marry the wrong person, because life gonna beat your ass. Life gonna beat your ass. You're automatically taking on someone else's responsibilities, someone else's problems, someone else's toxic, upbringing. Because you really never know someone until you actually live with them and get to know them. And once they reveal themselves, that's what it is. Because you could live with someone, you could be with someone for years. It's not really until they reveal who they truly are. And I'm not somebody who can hide myself. Like, I'm not. I told you guys earlier, like off rip, I think I farted in front of Nigel like a month in. And again, here we were not exclusive. We weren't official. Like, what are you doing farting in front of this man? But he farted in front of me. So it's like, if you make me comfortable, listen, my comfortable it's top notch. Like, it's different from a lot of people. I can be very, very weird. Like, it can get weird. Like, even my closest friends don't even know that about me. So when you marry somebody, like, I don't want to be weird with anyone else again.
It's like a lot of effort and energy already placed in that person, so you don't want to have to work that over again into somebody else.
I don't want to be responsible of always having to sexually satisfy anybody either. Because before getting married, I ain't gonna lie, and it's not even Nigel, because again, Nigel and I have this long, drawn out history. It's only a small few people, like on one hand, that kind of got to know Sherri sexually, and even then I'm still like, my husband has to like see all of me. I'm not that person, oh, you should try this and that with just whoever, even if they're like, whoever I am with, like that soul tie, they have to be able to accept me for who I'm a pillow princess. I want you to eat my coochie all day and I just lay back, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to I like having sex, but I like being fucked, so it's kind of, I don't want to do that again with anybody else.
Do you think that's what made you two gravitate to each other, the sexual connection, or it was?
It was everything. Nigel is a gentleman. Nigel is definitely a gentleman. That's why, he had a lot of ugly holes, just a lot. No, I'm just playing, I'm just joking. Surprisingly, I tell people that's what made me, not made me, but that's one of the reasons why I respect Nigel. Of course, I don't know everyone he slept with, but the few that I've seen or dated or courted, I just love the fact that he has boundaries. He has not boundaries. He has
quality.
He has standards. Because it's a lot of men. You guys know I've dated a Gemini or 3. They don't have standards. It's a lot of men who don't have, and again, and it was on some, when I'm with guys, they'll all tell you, it's a connection. It's not even on some, we're dating, because ask Nigel how long it took him to get the ass. I literally have been with, the guys that I have connected with the most, I'm not giving up no ass. We're vibing, we really are homeboy and homegirl, and I think that's what I really, I can always count on Nigel to do anything like that. The whole protecting thing, when they talk about husband is supposed to provide and protect, I can always count on Nigel getting me out of a bind if there is a bind. I can always, it may not happen tomorrow, but I know he works hard at making sure this shit happens. Protection, somebody might look at Nigel and be like, oh, this island man, he ain't this, he ain't that, he can't handle the streets and blah, blah, blah. People don't fuck with Nigel. I feel extremely protected when I'm around him. They respect him.
He has this reputation of top flight.
Top flight security, Craig. Nobody, listen, top flight security, Craig be on the front line and nobody disrespects him, and I like that. So it's the whole, the gentleman factor, very family oriented, because I'm big on family, that. He calls my mother Peanut, and she answers. I think that is just, that's so deep, so dope.
So how many years have you guys been together?
Too much.
Too much?
Too much. Not even too long, it's too much.
2 kids in more?
No, absolutely. Actually, that's what I want for my birthday. I would love to get my tube cider, he gets snipped. I would love that for a birthday gift. If anyone is out there willing to donate.
A tube tie?
Yeah.
For a snip?
Yeah. They could burn them. I don't really think I want to take my uterus right now because I don't want any of the female changes.
You may have to ask right Nigel how he feels about that.
At first he was actually cool with it. Now Nigel's like, no, because at first I wasn't cool with the snip. I was like, what if you stop working? Like, I am the type, I will cheat on you, bro. I'm playing, don't be. I'm not gonna say I took my vows serious because I was drunk that morning up, not playing. It would be issues. Like, I know that would really be a test. So I try not to talk about it because I don't want God to like test me for real. So at first I was scared of that. I'm like, what if you are that 2%, you know? I'm not gonna be cool with that. So now he's where I'm at and I'm where he used to be. So we gotta come together and just.
So you have one of each, a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Because I've seen videos of
I feel like this is so personal. I never talk about my kids to these people.
We're getting to know Sherri though.
Okay.
I've seen videos of Leah. I've seen videos of Aiden. Aiden I've seen has qualities that are so much like Nigel. Leah is so much like you. How do you feel having kids that are identical to the persona of each parent?
One, I think is dope because we're dope. So I think it's really, really dope. Leah is definitely me living out loud. Like, Leah is a constant reminder that I used to write, that you need to get back to writing. Leah is a constant reminder that the performing arts was my shit. Like, I love music, I love art, I forgot about it. Because, you know, when I went to high school, I went to the medical, the whole address thing. But anyway, long story, I was in the medical magnet program, and then I went to FAM to be a pharmacist, ended up doing healthcare management, been in the health field all my life. And I really like doing that because you concentrate so much on that. People don't realize, like, they want to know, oh, how can you work a 9 to 5 at a desk and be tired? Yo, using your brain is a lot. Like, this shit is draining. So I forgot about like just being this free spirit. You know, that's who I naturally am. And having Leah, like seeing my daughter, like she's a constant reminder, you have to get back to the writing. My daughter is going to be in one of my movies. I just say that, one of my shows. I don't know if I want a movie. Who knows? You never know what the book do. But like, you know, I want a Netflix specialist. Put that in the universe. Leah's definitely gonna be one of my actresses.
So Aiden's like a bodyguard. I see him, I see so many qualities of Nigel in him. He's always so protective of Leah. And she's so protective of him.
Leah or his mother? Y'all didn't warn me about this boy mom shit. Listen, I mean, I can't do anything. I can't do, you know, if you guys saw my top, like it's a crop top, like whatever they're called.
I heard somebody tell you that you need to
You're not gonna wear
reevaluate your
that.
outfit.
Yeah, you need to change that. Yeah, I can't dance, and I'm a dancer. I love dancing. Like, I don't care if I'm on beat or not. Music just moves me. I vibe to elevated music. And my child is, don't do that. Like, what? Like, how did you, like, his dad does not treat me like this.
He's
like,
more protective of you than he is?
It's ridiculous. Like, I don't like this because I'm somebody, I cannot be with a controlling man. Like, you cannot control me, period. Why are we doing this? Like, don't, and now I have a 9-year-old that's trying to control my life. Bruh, you tried it. Yeah, so and I talked to his daddy and I asked him, you know, that's what boys do. That's what he told me.
They're protective of their moms. No, it's natural.
This little boy's gonna get his feelings hurt. I love the fact that he's very protective, but no.
Do you really think he's the one who's gonna get his feelings hurt along the line? Or maybe you may get your feelings not hurt, but you may have to reevaluate how you assess the situation because he's not gonna give up. He's always gonna be.
Nigel told me that they actually grow out of it. I hope that's true.
We'll see.
I don't know, but now I put my foot down.
So
listen.
With all that brought together, how did we get to After Hours? How did we get to being Sherri Shabazz, from Sherri being wanting to write when she was a kid, from meeting your dad, from growing up with your mom and then going to FAMU, which you didn't want to tell us too much about, and then marrying Nigel and having kids? How did you get to incorporating all of that to wanting to be Sherri Shabazz? You said you were working a 9 to 5, doing corporate America. How did you get to?
That's a good question. I don't know. like again, I remember people just saying you should do this, you should do that. Sherri Shabazz kind of just happened. I used to be on Facebook, again, being this private Scorpio, don't really want anyone looking me up on Facebook. So I used to always change my last name. So any celebrity name I would pick. I remember I was Sherri Winfrey at one time, like Oprah Winfrey. I was Sherri Snipes, all kind of names. And I chose Sherri Shabazz one day and it got stuck. Like Facebook put me on a ban. I couldn't change my name anymore. So I was like, oh well, and then people just started calling me, you know, Shabazz. So it kind of just flowed, you know what I mean? It went. So Sherri Shabazz is kind of it's like I tell people all the time, when they start talking to me, they might hear something crazy. So it's like, this girl talks about sex, so okay, let's follow her page. But then you realize that you're learning how to be more comfortable in your skin. You're learning how to be free-spirited. You're learning how to be a true friend. You're learning so much from me because I'm just literally being myself. So Sherri Shabazz became this escape from the 9-to-5.
A bad influence turning into a good
influence. A bad influence that's a great fucking influence, because no one loves a boring story. So when you're telling a story, you're gonna need Sherri Shabazz. Like I remember asking Facebook one time, tell me your story the first time you tried an edible. And as embarrassed as I was also like proud, because quite a few people were like, well, the first time I had an edible was from your party. And I'm like, oh shit. I was proud because at least you enjoyed yourself. You know, it wasn't on some Bill Cosby, it was consensual, you know what I mean? And y'all had a good time, so hey, it always make for a better story. But Sherri Shabazz was always that person. I'm at work, you know, I don't talk to anybody. My friends are my friends. We party, we have a good time together. You know, we could say all the inappropriate things that we can't say in front of people, but I've never been that person that would put my burdens and my drama on a friend. So Facebook kind of became my diary. And then it was like, I'm stuck with this name. It's great for marketing. Let's keep it. And after hours was for those, because I have everybody on my page. You know, Facebook started with your college friends and then your family and all of that. So everyone's on my Facebook, but then I also have my after hours crew, which is like, I consider them, like Facebook is my cousins. I call everybody my cousin. So if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, you know I'm your cousin, because Sherri Shabazz, Sherri on the computer, is who she is around her cousins. I'm weird, I say some random shit, I start preaching depending on how much liquor is in my system, you know what I mean? I can be stuck up sometimes, I can be real ratchet, it just depends on the vibe or the cousin, or the alcohol. And then after hours is kind of like, all right, bye cousins, now I'm hanging with my friends. My friends, the ones where, you know, we go to the party and we get high.
No judgment.
Marijuana, we're gonna do the other shit. And alcohol. And, you know, we're gonna go home with somebody's daddy or our main boo that we had called that night. You know what I mean? Like that's my after hours crew. So my after hours crew is, again, I'm still that free-spirited Sherri, that cousin who, she judging us, but she don't judge us. You know what I mean? She's gonna actually encourage us to do the same shit that she just judged us about, because she's just fun and she just like, if you're happy, I just want everybody around me to be happy. Like, people don't understand that. They'll look at me and think that I'm stuck up, you know, that she's this mean girl, you know, she don't talk about shit like that. And then when they actually get near me, they're like, oh my God, you're like the granny at church everybody wants to sit next to. I'm gonna say all the inappropriate shit. I'm gonna say the shit that we all thinking when the person is up here speaking and you're like, okay, wrap it up, yeah. I'm gonna be that person. I hope y'all not thinking that about me. But anyway, I make people comfortable, and it's not just women, but we have to now wrap it up.
So what's your envisionment for yourself? And overall, after 2020?
At first, I was thinking real small. I used to think real small, and then something happened spiritually in 2017, and it was a wake-up call. My granddaddy, like, you know what Beyonce say? You mess with me, baby, you gotta come with the goons, for real. Like, you gotta come with big grenades. It was like my grandfather and my daddy, like, constantly come to me and tell me, you gotta stop living small. I used to make myself small to make others feel very comfortable, because my personality is big, it is powerful, it's overwhelming sometimes. So it's like I would, you know, depending on who's in the room, my daddy and my granddaddy's like, stop that shit. So I used to dream small. I was like radio. I just want to do local radio and I just want to talk to the people. I I got too much to say and I have way too much substance to stay small. So I definitely want a Netflix special. This book that is coming out, Confessions, it's all y'all drama that y'all tell me on Wednesdays in a book. Of course, I'm putting my twist to it. I want people to understand that Black people have sex. They have great sex. They have extremely nasty sex. They have homosexual sex. They have all types of sex that we think only white folks have. And I want us to get rid of, because in 2020 and beyond, beyond 2020, it's a new world. We no longer know what was before 2020. How your grandmother and your grandfather was thinking, that's out the window. We're being freaks for ourselves, okay? Ourselves. Be freak with yourself first, masturbate, get to know yourself first, and then you can be out here pleasing other people, you know. But that's if you want to. But I'm all about, I want to be part of the sexual revolution because the shit is coming. And I'm not talking about the whole raunchy shit. Let's just, cheeks out and let's just be raunchy and fuck everybody and, pray about an STD the next day. I want people to come because this is what the fuck they want to do. And we need to just live better, healthier lives.
So cheers to Scorpio season.
Cheers to Scorpio season, November 9th. You guys got to make sure, salutes. Make sure that you brought one out in honor of me, okay? And we also want to go to www.sherryshabazz.com. We're gonna put that at the bottom, the link, so you'll know how to spell Sherri, not Cherie. And I'm going to be launching a 50% off sale for Scorpio season and my birthday. I don't want gifts. You don't have to send me Cash App request or not request, what is it called? Whatever. I just want you to come. So buy a toy or 5, okay?
You come with everybody else.
Cheers.